We're going to do the bridge tour. We've got 17 on, and we've got a full load on this. We're one of 3 or 4 open toppers that are going to be doing it. So there's some dogs there and they've got a big queue. All the people there are waiting to do the 4th road bridge. So there's quite a few tour buses going on. So we've got 17 on just now, we've got room for another 58. 6 downstairs, 11 upstairs, gives us another 33 seats upstairs left. Keep it counting how many are there. 43, 44. So it's parked upstairs and parked below deck. Got about 72 people on board. It's a busy
Bringing in a bottle of water.
whatever you do. It's great, isn't it?
It's brilliant.
One with red tails.
It's the tour arrived back to the museum. It's good, it's a busy one.
Yeah, we bam you.
So we really enjoyed that. It was brilliant. Oh, see you later on, now. See you, Colin. So that was a busy bus. That was a very busy bus. There's still a lot of people still coming down from the stair. It's good to see our old bus being used and working well under fully loaded conditions and popular as well. A lot of people want to come on and travel on it, especially on a day like this for the open top tour. Well, it's still unloaded. As I say, it was a popular, busy one this.
We've got a few bottles of water tonight.
So that took a wee while for the bus to unload. It was, as I say, it was a full bus and it was handling really well. It kept going. So for a 45-year-old, 46-year-old bus, it's done remarkably well, because as I say, that was a fully loaded, virtually fully loaded, maybe a couple of seats short, but then of course you could probably get more if you had the standees included. But it was coping. I mean, these things are maximum at 16 and a quarter ton gross, and it weighs just 9.6 tons empty. So there's plenty of engine power in that and structurally all managed. So there was maybe a couple of times when it was going to the corner because of the extra weight. It was, I thought maybe like the mud flat would be scraping across the ground at certain, as it's tilting over going into the corner. Because these isn't air sacs, these are leaf springs, so there's no any self-levelling systems on these old buses. So it's just good old leaf springs that are supporting them. So.
Yeah. It's a pity because I'd like it to be smoother.
So, it has been a busy bus this weekend. It did the same thing yesterday as well, the bridge tour, and it was fully loaded. In fact, there was so much so I couldn't even get on it. But then I made the mistake of leaving it too late, but not this time. But because I'm with the bus, I just basically got on and it was starting. So, and there's a wee in-cab view as well. I've covered this before on videos. So I've covered a lot of footage. I'll maybe even give you a wee bit of the underside as well. So I'll get you a bit of footage underneath if you want.
So what else do you have up there then? Oh, yeah.
I'll show you underneath the engine as well at the front.
You said saw sparks.
You see it's shiny if it was.
Ah, yeah, it's.
Is it shiny, is it?
I'll soon find out. What? This is underneath the other side.
I haven't got runners. No, I used to have.
Because this thing was loaded quite a lot, and it's spring suspension, somebody upstairs thought they saw sparks. It might have been the tailpipe scraping the ground. Remember, the road surfaces isn't easy, there's uneven road surfaces as well. But that was a thing I remember in the late 80s, during the 80s, when these things were loaded up. You would sometimes get smoke coming off the wheels, off the tyres, up to the body, but touching the tyre at times. As I say, it's leaf spring suspension, there isn't any self-levelling systems on these, like the air suspensions, for example, especially the modern ones. Well, this is old school cart spring leaf springs, so. But they kept going, and it was a pretty common thing. It didn't do them any harm when they were loaded up fully like that. So they are a rugged machine. It doesn't really harm it. There is actually one of the wheel arch liners where you could see just the suspension, that there's clearance where you could see the leaf spring on the rear axle. So if I put the camera there, you might see it. It's not the easiest. See if I zoom in, that's where it meets the chassis, that's the leaf spring mounts in. It's the same with the other side. So it's just basically leaf spine, cart spine type. And I was frightened in case it dropped thing. Got my camera, so I don't want to be doing that. That's the shock absorber, that thing there. And it's a drop centre hub reduction axle, double reduction. And that's to allow for a low floor version. There was only ever one low floor Ailsa built, and the drop centre reduction axle was accommodated for that. So the Mark 1s and Mark 2s had that, the Mark 3s didn't. They replaced the Hamworthy drop centre reduction axle with a Volvo straight axle, because they weren't intending on building any low height Ailsas. There was only ever one as an experiment, which is in preservation, and I know the guy who owns it. I've driven it. It's R120, I think it's R120R, so RTO 120. RTO 120. I can't remember versed off the top of my head, but I done a video on it a couple of years ago. It's low height Volvo Ailsa. I saw the guy. I just can't think of the reg right now off the top of my head, but there is only one ever built. All the rest of the Ailsas were standard height, 14 foot 6, 14 foot 8. So it was either like R120 RTO or something. I'd have to look back. As I say, right now I just can't remember. There's so much going on with other things online, but as I say, if you look back at the video, just type in low height Volvo Ailsa Mark 1. I've done a 2 hour video on it a couple of years ago, 3 years ago. So I mean, I've driven this bus. I've driven it yesterday actually on the way back, partly anyway. I had a wee shot driving it. Driven it loads of times. I've even driven it on the bridge actually done to Caledonian Railway, Montrose Air Station to Caledonian Railway. That was a few years back, maybe 7 or 8 years ago, maybe 9. I drove this one on the shuttle service. Was it like for the bus museum sort of thing? Yeah. I was in conjunction with the Caledonian Railway. But I've driven it many times since that with the bus club, and I remember it very well in service when it was in service back in the 80s, 90s and that, along with its other sister buses as well. So that's a bit about the Mark 2. We've done very well that today. So. A long day. So I've been here this weekend, yesterday and today. So you see what else now. I mean, just record whatever random photos. So another thing about the open topper Volvo Ailsa Mark 2, the engine in it says Volvo TD70E, which is capable, when tuned, capable of towing or pulling a 32-ton gross loaded lorry, 8-wheeler rigid, or 30-ton maybe. But then I heard that they could even do Arctics as well, which would be up to at that time probably 36 tons. So the engine's got plenty of power, there's more power and torque in it, more than enough. But when it's bus, it's obviously just set for the, you know, tuned and set for the maximum weight of 16 ton, 16.25 ton. That's what the double decker at that time was. Today the deckers are up to about 18 ton. And if it's a triaxle, it could be up to as much as 26 ton, like your big megabus coaches and triaxle double decks. But back in the day, when that, well, 1979, that open topper, the Mark 2, I think it was, well, it was rated at 16.25 ton. And I think fully loaded articulated trucks back then would probably be somewhere like 36 ton. And I heard that the Volvo F7, F7 lorry, which shared the same engine, the Volvo TD70E engine. So you had two. You had the Volvo TD70H, which was in the Mark 3 Ailsas. The Volvo TD70E was in the Mark 1 and Mark 2. The Mark 1 being differently rated, different turbocharger than that, being earlier. In the Mark 2 there was revisions made to that engine. But the engine block was the TD70E. So the engine said they're capable of towing all that, pulling all that weight.